if you want this trash, that's fine. Yeah, but I mean, tastes good. But, you know, I'll take that pen. Crazy. That's crazy. Crazy. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. You do. You do. Test. we good. The top of them. Test. Oh, sorry. The top of them. Test. Shalom Israel, Shalom Yabashim Yashai Brakathum to the brothers, Shalom Yahweh Shema Aladah Bashim Yahweh to the sisters. We at the Isupk Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohanan. Right. And we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. Let's see. We got Trooper Nathabai Lum, Most High in Christ sucks. Good to see you. If anybody tuning in, if you could, please like, share, and subscribe. We got to keep pushing this truth out. You know, I'm pretty sure you've been keeping up with the news. If you haven't already, this nation is falling. Just like how it's been prophesied for generations and generations. Everything that is in the Bible has come to fruition at some point or another. Right? So now more than ever, you need to get in this truth. Like if there was ever a sign that you needed to get in this truth, this is the time. Because there's going to come a time you ain't going to find this. It's already hard to find this right now, ain't it? It is hard. It's already hard. So, I mean, you better get right while you can. It's locked. Right. So, just brief recap. You know, we're going to be finishing up Genesis 17. Last week, we were talking about circumcision and how Abraham and Sarah got their names. We're going to pretty much continue from there and go to chapter 18. With that, you got anything, Chris?
If I may, let me address this. Isupk Reyes. It's not Shalom, it's Shalom. Shalom means payback. I believe it's payback. Shalom means peace. If you come to class, we have a Friday Hebrew tongue class, Lashon Kodash class every Friday. I believe 7 p.m. we teach it. You say you can't find Genesis chapter 7, 8, 10. I will go through there during class and try to find it for you. Now, some of the classes of Genesis, the reason why we didn't teach them is because it was basically naming a bunch of names, right, giving us the progenitors. And sometimes during the Hebrew, I wouldn't say it's no point, but it would just take up time or take up a whole week of lesson planning to just break down something that really does need to be break down. Some of those chapters we don't need to break down per se because it's straightforward. You can just read it without any needed precepts to it. So that's why you might not see some chapters or some specific breakdown. But anything worth breaking down, we're gonna break down. That's all.
Most High in Christ. All right, so now with that, imagine, which means to stand or rise, just me and the brother up here. Sorry, it's me. Sorry.
Lion Shalom, which means to Israel.
Sorry, it's me. Sorry.
Amazim Hapayah Hakadam, which means to rise to face the east. We'll be doing the prayers in the Hebrew and then the English. Repeat after me. This is the Lord's Prayer. Abunah, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Abalawata, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Ashmayim, the thunder now, the call, you want, what's locked now, Kaba Waf now, Kasalak now, Kaba Waf now, Wala'a, Habya and Wab, on the side was, Abal, Habashai now, Mayan, right, Kayah, and the cup, Kamalakwa, Waha Wata Para, I will love you, Amen.
Lord's Prayer in English, Our
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, kingdom come, will be done. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us our debts. We forgive our debts. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the Lord, forever. So be it. Amen. This is a cock, the power in Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Shatanah, Hakak, Hakak, Larpa'ah, Kamath Allah, Kamath Hakak, lots of hearts, Hamath Zoriah, Hakak, Nakoya, Maki, Hakak, Awakawa, Hatama Allah, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Amen.
Now it's the power in the English. Yahweh.
The name Yahweh Shai, please give us the power. Give us the power. The power to heal. All man of sickness. All man of disease. Power to cleanse love. Power to raise the day. Power to get us clean spirit. Cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. This is blessed Israel. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. Barak Lanawa. Wayat Shalom. Waha. Bayat Saparium. Barak. Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Amen.
What we just said was, Lord,
in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel,
and the school,
in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
So be it. Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Ash'ah, Aganya, Ahoyim, Bayan, Yabah, Azariah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arazah, Ayatan, Lamwat, Wazarka, Ayanawam, Shemarka, Anah, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shalomar, Yashalah, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Ayat, Yayakat, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Alayilam, Yahweh, Yashmark, Bakal, Right, Yashmark, after the Pastor, Yahweh, Yashmark, Tazafka, Wa'aka, Mayata, Wa'ait, Ayulam.
Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes
to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help? Coming from the Lord,
which made heaven
and earth.
He will not suffer
thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
will not
slumber
or sleep. The
Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade.
Upon thy right hand.
The sun
shall not strike thee by day, nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee
all evil. From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The
Lord shall
preserve thy going out and thy coming in.
From
this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83. Allahayim. Adam Yalaka. Altan Arash. Altan Shakwat. All. Kayahana. Awayabika. Yahamaya 1. Ra'ash. Al Aymuka. Ya'ayma Yumwa. Sawadas. Wayata. Yatazawa. Al Tazapawanya. Amarwa. Lakawa. Wanakaki. Wagaria. Wala'a. Yazakar. Yashala. Awada. Kaya. Yawatazawa. Laba, Yakadwa, Arika, Bayat, Yakabatwa, Ahoya, Anawam, Wayashima, Alayam, Mawab, Wagarium, Gabal, Wamawan, Wamala, Alashat, and Yashabi, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Amam, Haywa, Narawai. The Bunny Lawat, Salat, Aisha, Laham, Kamadi, Kasayat, Shaba'at, Kayabyan, Malakal, Yachwa, the Shabawat, Bayan the Ara, Aywa, the Man, La Damat, Shatamu, Nada, Yamawa, Kaira, Wakazabu, Wakazabak, Wakazamala, Kal Naf Yakumwa, Lashar, Omar, Naya Rashad, Lanawa, Ah, Nawa, Alahaya, Shatamu, the Gargle, Kakwash, the Panya, Rakah, Ash, Taba Ayru, the Ayru, Wa, Kalahaba, Kalahat, Mario, Kan, Dama, Masa Ayru, Wapsa, the Pata, Dabahalo, Mala'a, Hayham, Palawam, Waya, Quash, Shoka, Yahawa, Yabasu, Waya, Wahawa, Aya, Waya, Kaparwa, Waya, Abadwa, Waya, Nawa, Kaya, Aka, Shoka, Yahawa, Labaka, Aliwan, Alcohol, Haravasa.
Psalms 83 in English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
Be not still,
O God.
O God.
For lo, thine enemy,
Thine enemy,
make a tumult.
they get tumult.
They that hate thee,
They that hate thee,
have lifted up
have lifted up
the head.
the head.
They have taken crafty
They
counsel
have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
against our people.
They have consulted.
They have consulted against these.
So like my bed. And consulted
And consulted
against thy hidden.
against our hidden one.
They have said,
They have said,
like,
come,
and let us cut them off
let us cut them off
from being a nation.
from being a nation.
That the name of Israel,
That the name of Israel,
no more
maybe
remember.
no one remember.
They have consulted together.
But they have consulted together.
One consent.
One consent.
They have confederate against
They are confederate against these
Tabernacle.
tabernacle leaders
Ishmael.
and Israelites,
Moab.
and Moab, and the Hagarenes,
Ball.
the Baal, and Ammon, and Amalek,
Philistine.
the Philistines,
With the inhabitants of
with the inhabitants of Tyre,
So also was wrong.
which are also joined with them.
They have hope in the children.
They are hoping the children of Lot,
Salah.
Salah,
Do unto them
do unto them
after the meeting.
as to the meeting,
As to Sarah.
and such a zero,
As to Jabin.
and such a bin,
At the brook of
at the
the
brook of concern,
which perished at the
the
door.
spirit shut the door.
They became stuff.
They became as dumb for the earth.
Make their nobles like a
Make the nose like a rail, and like Saeed. Yea,
all their princes.
all the princes,
As Sabah.
as Sabah,
As a
and as Amun,
who said,
who said,
let's take to
let us
ourselves.
take ourselves,
House of God.
gods of God,
In
in
possession.
possession. Oh my God, make them like a wheel, stubborn before the wind, as the fire burns the wood,
Flames of the
and
mountain.
as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute.
So persecute them
with that temper.
with thy temper,
To make them
make
afraid.
them afraid
With that storm.
with thy storm.
Fill the face of
Should
shame.
their face be ashamed,
They may seek
that
fight.
they may seek thy name.
Oh Lord.
Let
Be confounded.
them be confounded
And trouble.
and trouble forever.
Yea, let me put to shame.
Let them be put to shame
Perish.
and perish.
They may know.
And men may know that thou,
His name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh.
is Yahweh,
Most
art the most high over all earth. These are the blessings of the Hebrew. Barak atah Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? Why Ma'ak Allah? Why Allahayim? Matah Slacker. Matas of Baya'a.
But as I be I.
Alawap Yaham. Alawap Yaham.
Alawap.
Hasurani. Akwatas are Yonim. Asa Yonim.
Yo.
Waha Akwati. Yahweh. Hashem. Yahweh Shai. Shubara. Aman.
Now in the English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
Hey, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
Hey, Mike.
And Mike.
Hey,
And Angel.
manager,
Manager in Hell.
general,
The general.
captain,
Captain.
officer, troop,
Troop.
and sister,
And the sister.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Name Yahweh.
Your name Yahweh Shai. Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Sorry, face me. All right, you may be seated. All right, those who have been tuning into our Sabbath service, as you already know, Priest Nelson Latazar is going to be reading the verses in the Hebrew, and then we're going to give the breakdown in the English. Oh, and by all means, before we start, anybody who has any questions during the class, by all means, ask. This is not the Christian church. All right, we're not just going to talk just to talk. All right, if you are confused about anything, we'll do our best to address whatever question you may have according to the lesson. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to go to Genesis 17, 22. Actually, yeah. So we're going to go to Genesis 17 and 23, and we're actually going to read all the way to Genesis 18 and 5.
Come on. All right, this is book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 23. Wayakaka, Abraham, Yashmael, Banwa, Wa'ath, Ka, Yalayaya, Bayatwa, Wa'ath, Ka, Makuna, Kasapawa, Pau, Takar, Ba'anashaya, Bayat, Abraham, Wayamal, Bashar, Ira, Latham, Ba'atazam, Hayawam, Hata, Ka'ashar, Dabar, Atwa, Alahayam, Wabaram, that's what it is. Khan, that's the item. What that's the I, Shana, Mahamawa, Bashar, Aralatwa, Waya, Shama'al, Banwa, Bun, Shalash, Aishara, Shana, Bahamawa, Bashar, Iraq, Iralathwa, Ba'atazam, Hayawam, Hata, Namawal, Abu Raham, Waya Shama'al, Banwa, verse 27, Wakal, Anashaya, Bayathwa, Yalaya, Bayath, Wamakunat, Kasataza, Ma'ath, Bud, Nakar, Wamalawa, Athwa, verse 18, Salakia, chapter 18, verse 1. Wayara'ah, ala Yawah, Yahweh, Ba'alan Yah, Mamara'ah, Wahawa'ah, Yashab, Patacha, Ha'ahal, Bakam, Hayawam, Wayasha'ah, Ayan Yawah, Wayara'ah, Wahana, Shalasha, Anashayam, Natab Yama, Al Yawah, Wayara'ah, Wayara'tazah, Lahakwarakum, Mapa, Tacha, Ha'ahal, Wayashat, Kawa, Aratazah, verse 3, Waya Amar, Adanya, Amar, Na'a, Matazah, Ataya, Kana, Ba'ayan Yaka, Al Na'a, Ibar, Ma'al, Abadka, Yahuka, Na'a, Ma'ita, Mayam, Rarakatazawa, Ragal Yakam, Waha Sha'anwa, Taka, Ha'atazah, Waha Kocha, verse 5, Wa'afaka, Patalakam, Wama'aidwa, Labakam, Akar, the Ibara, Kaya, Al, Kana'ai, Ibartham, Al, Ibadkam, Waya Amarwa, Kun, Da'asha, Ka'asha, the Barath, or Dawah.
Most High in Christ. All right, so we're going to begin from Genesis 17 and 23.
Shout out to Priest Officer Hazahai. I the one out of headquarters, man.
Shalom on Christ.
Shalom on Christ, sir. How about you? Have a shot rocket come. Genesis 17.
Genesis 17 and 23.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 23. And Abraham took Ishmael, his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as God had said unto him.
Okay, so, all right, so right here, okay, you're tuning into the last few classes. Ishmael is one of Abraham's sons. He's actually his firstborn son. Later will come Isaac. Now, the Lord, as you will read multiple times throughout the Bible, the Lord deals with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through that lineage. He does not necessarily deal with Ishmael. Now, this precept right here, I wanted to touch on this real quick. It says, and Abraham took Ishmael, his son. Remember, he is his son, but he is not of the lineage of the Lord's favor. And all that were born in his house and all that were bought with his money, every male, understand, Israelites did not exist at this time, but every male among the men of Abraham's house and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self same day, as God had said unto him. Some Christians might read this and think that God loves everybody, which is something that we continuously have to cut throughout the Bible, right? Time and time again, you read throughout the Bible and you find out that the Most High has a favorite. Right here, we are learning before Jacob's name was changed to Israel, before Jacob even came about, before Isaac is not born yet. Yeah, I do understand. We're reading about, him coming through, but Isaac is not born yet. The Lord had a favorite.
Right.
He dealt with Abraham, and he was going to deal with Isaac. However, in that time period, Abraham, the man of God, Abraham served the Lord. He had power. You understand? Everyone within his domain was going to follow what Abraham does. They were going to follow the law, even though they were not of the Lord. Some people might get confused about this. Let me break it down for you. You see how today we're all Hellenized. Let me ask you a question real quick. Anybody that's paying attention. What does it mean to be Hellenized? Let's see if y'all paying attention. What does Hellenized mean? If anybody can give me a definition. What does Hellenize mean? I don't see nobody putting any answers down. I hope Salakia, if anybody's watching the class, just remember, like with our classes, we're going to see following the customs of other nations. Okay. I'll take it. Okay, the brother's not wrong.
Right.
Hellenization. Let me see if I can get it in the right here real quick. Hellenism. Okay, right here. So right here, I'm going to read to you this is the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. Right, I'm going to give you a few definitions of Hellenized or Hellenistic. So actually, before I even get to Hellenist, let me give you the definition of hell. So this is the definition of hell in the Zondervan's Bible Compact Dictionary. Place and condition of retribution for unredeemed men. Let's see. Eternal fire, lake of fire, fire and worm, place of torment, place of outer darkness. Now, people will think, of course, Christians will think, when you die, if you've been a sinner your whole life, then your spirit will go down to the underworld and you're going to meet some big red naked dude with a pitchfork.
He outside.
He outside. He's here right now, right? Don't think like that, okay? Hell is on earth, okay? How do we know this? It says right here, place and condition of retribution. It also says place of torment. Think about it, Akwathian. We no longer are, we are connected to our true heritage, but a lot of brothers and sisters out there are confused. They do not know their true heritage. A lot of us, I would say Southern tribes, we know that we were taken from Africa, but that's it. We don't know what we were at that time. We just know that we were taken from Africa. So of course, that's the last continent that we remember that we were taken from.
Right. So
of course we're going to think, okay, well, we must be of Hamitic nations. We must be Yoruba. Yorubas are like a Nigerian tribe. I must be South African, East African. When what you don't understand is, yes, we were in Africa. Africa is just a place.
Right.
Okay. Many different nations have been there. Matter of fact, right now, there's other nations that are there. You go to North Africa. North Africa, you have what's like Morocco. You have a lot of Middle Eastern or Arabic nations that have migrated over there. My point being is, we are descendants of Shem. We're not descendants of Ham. We don't know that. We don't know that. Okay. So by you not knowing who you really are, you are tormented because you're always going to look. You see people that are like, what is the meaning of life? You're so confused, right? We're still arguing about silly little topics, not to get too far off. We're so lost, right? I look up the statistics. As Black Americans, we have the lowest income out of every other ethnic group in America. We're at the bottom. I'm not talking about as an individual. I'm talking about as a people, right? Meanwhile, we are having conversations to this day, grown men and women, about going 50-50 in the household.
That's crazy.
I hate to break it to y'all. We don't even qualify to have that conversation. Because according to statistics, we're too freaking poor.
We got to go, I don't know, 20.
That's what I'm saying. All the other nations, they got to figure out, who are the highest earners? We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Question real quick. Do y'all know what ethnic group has the highest income in America? I'm going to see if they get it. You're right.
Oh, yeah. But I'm actually going to make a post about that later.
Yeah. Who has, if you might have gave it away, but let's see if y'all pay attention, though. Who has the highest income in America?
I'm in class too, guys. I'm teaching class, but I'm also in it.
Anybody know who has the highest income? And Mr. Christopher,
we're going to get to
Costantino. Well, we'll get to your question in a minute.
And we're going to run through that real quick.
All right, I'm going to give y'all, I'll give y'all, you got 10 seconds. Y'all don't say in 10 seconds, we're just going to give it to you.
Highest earning race in America.
Yeah. Who has the highest income in America? Y'all on your phones, I know y'all are, because y'all not talking. So I know y'all on your phones. Just Google it real quick. It's all right. Use your resources. Well, for time's sake, I'll just give it to you, right? It's Indians.
Elamites.
Indians. Not you know where the white man's at? He's in the middle.
Right.
Asians have highest earning in USA.
They're second.
Close. They're I believe they're second. You're very close. It's Indians and I believe
Indians,
Asians.
rich white people, middle class white people. Then way at the bottom,
Right here.
the blacks and whites.
Let me take this off real quick. So yes, Indian Americans. Yeah, in a sense, Asians. Yeah, Filipino Americans, Taiwanese Americans, Sri Lankans, Japanese, Malaysian, Chinese, Pakistani, then white Americans. Then you got Koreans, Indonesian. Then you have the average American, Thai Americans. It says Bangladeshi Americans, Nepali, Hispanic, Latino, and African American or Black American. And as you can see, Hispanic and Black, we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom. My point being is that's heaven. Meanwhile, we're talking about going 50-50 in the house. So that's how lost we are. Okay? We're that lost. We over here trying to fight with each other about what is the role of a man and a woman. Meanwhile, it's other nations coming to white America, and they already got it figured out. They come over here with barely anything, with nothing but the clothes on their back and the shoes on their feet, if they even got that. But they understand one thing. They understand that, hey, we're stronger together. They're not destroyed in the mind. We're destroyed. A place of torment. You want to know why? Because they can date back their lineage. And a Chinese American can come to America. Yeah, he's American now because he's, maybe his children are born here, right? But he's going to teach his children Chinese customs, Chinese heritage, Chinese language, Chinese history. So they're still connected to who they are. They're not confused. They know who they are. And because they know who they are in their mind and in their spirit, they can flourish because they understand, hey, I got to put my people first. I might live with the Edomites, but I still got to put my people first. We don't think like that. So, Salakia, just to go further from hell, right? So we know what hell is. My original question is, what does it mean to Hellenize or Hellenistic? Because Hellenists derive from the word hell. So this is the definition of Hellenist. Jews, don't think Jewish. Think of Israelites, real biblical Israelites, us, who made Greek their tongue and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices. And you can actually find this in Acts 6:1 and Acts 9:29. But for time's sake, right? I'm just breaking it down to you like this. You're adopting a different culture. We're Hellenized right now. Right? We speak English. Hispanics, first of all, the fact that you even called Hispanic is crazy because you're not Hispanic. Before that, you would be called the indigenous tribes or the natives. Before that, you were the northern tribes of Israel that left and came to this land first. This was y'all land. Y'all came over here and y'all were living fine. But sadly, the white man came over and destroyed everything as he normally does. My point being is now you're called Hispanic. Now you're called a Latino, which has Spanish roots. Spain, Europe. You're not European. The only reason half y'all got European blood in you is because the white man or white woman mixed in with your family. So now you look different. As black people, no different. Me and the brother right here, just like any other brother out there, we have English surnames. When you have names like Williams, Johnson, Smith, y'all all heard those before, right? Those weren't our original names. This wasn't our original language. We speak English because the white man made us speak English. You speak Spanish because the white man made you speak Spanish. Now we have adopted these other cultures. Now we don't know who we are. That's what it means to be Hellenized, right? My whole point being is, just to wrap this up, how we follow Esau today, there's going to be a time, if you serve the Lord, where the role will be flipped. And we're going to be the ones who are ruling. And guess what? Just like how they push for you to know, for you to know Spanish and English, learn their tongue, there's going to be a time they're going to have to learn Hebrew. They're going to have to serve the high holy days. This is how they make us have Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that, and Valentine's Day and Halloween, which is satanic. They're going to have to honor the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They're going to have to honor the Feast of Dedication. They're going to have to do these things. They ain't going to do it with us, though. They're going to be somewhere else. They honor it at their crib or something, but they're not going to be amongst the congregation. That's my whole point, right? You want to save everybody. Okay. No sweat. Do it by being a ruler righteously. like how Abraham ruled righteously. Salakia, that's all I got.
Okay, Christopher Constantino. What about someone like me who is Italian and Puerto Rican who has received Yahshua, I don't know what that is, and worship the Most High? Okay, what is your father? And to go back to what is your father? Put him in the chat. And go back to your original question that you asked. Why do you guys use the star Rimphon, which Yahweh said not to take out of Egypt? All right, to go through your question really quickly because we got to stay on topic today. A star is a circle of gas or a ball of gas. That's what a star is. That's a star. That's a star. A ball of gas. The circle of stars. You can find that throughout the Bible. Matter of fact, you can find that in Wisdom of Solomon. What you see on our chains and on our earrings, on our garments and our clothes, you see the signet or the shield of David. You see the Magun Dawada. Once you come to class, you will start to learn Paleo Hebrew. Paleo Hebrew teaches you the original language and the original alphabetic characters. Dawada is David's name in Hebrew. What Dawada is a triangle, a Y, and another triangle. All David did was flip the triangle. So he has one triangle and he has another triangle. It's just two triangles. Dawada. It's not hard to understand. It's not as deep as people try to make it. Shit, rim farm or rim fat. Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. We could go deeper. We have classes teaching you about that. We have classes breaking down the shield of David. But for time's sake, it is not some evil sign or whatever you thought you have heard or whatever you thought you taught. You've never learned the truth of God until you walk into these classes. We will prove everything we say. We prove it all the time. We have classes telling you, breaking down the shield of David, the Magun Dawada. We have classes. We have classes with precepts. I'm just not going over the precepts right now. But this is the king's signet. Just like Joe Biden or any president before him, when they stamp something, it's the seal of the president of the United States. Right. Every king, every monarch, everyone has a signet. When someone autographs, like a famous athlete that autographs a football or a basketball jersey, he's using his signature. Well, this is David's signature. They didn't have flat out words back then with names like that. It was used, it's pictorial. It's a pictorial language. Right. So he used Dawada. That's all it is. It's just his name with an inverted triangle. So
no, that's it. Yeah, real quick. Yeah, that's a lie that's been taught for a long time. I actually, what's this man's name? Christopher. I don't even blame you, and I'm actually glad you asked the question, right, because a lot of people they're confused about that. First of all, like the brother said, this is just an insignia. That's all it is. Okay, we do not. Some people say they get confused because they think of idol worship. They think that we worship the Dawada. We do not worship the Dawada. I don't need to wear a Dawada to teach class. We do not worship a physical object. Okay? Right. Just like, for example, y'all know what the symbol for the tribe of Judah is, right? It's a lion. Right. All right, we got lions up here. I don't worship no lion. Right. Okay, for Benjamin, it's a wolf. I don't worship dogs. They're like, we don't do that. That's all it is. And one more thing, for anybody who gets confused of this, because a lot of people get confused of this, the Dawada is not the sigil of Baphomet. For those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, the sigil of Baphomet would be what you know as, for Most High in Christ, the sigil of Baphomet is what you would know as today as the Star of Satan. If you look at the Star of Satan, it is a pentagram, right, meaning it has 5 points. A Dawada has 6 points. I know they look similar, but they are not the same thing. It was actually stated a long time ago that the sigil of Baphomet was actually made to mock the Dawada. That it is not the same thing. I just want y'all to understand that, so don't, for anybody who tries to come to you and be like, you worship it. No, it's not the same thing. It's not. That's all,
Bakudash One West, Salakia, who's teaching. This is Precinct Officer Atazam, and he's Precinct Officer Atazam. I'm Precinct Officer Ailatazam. Hope that answers your question, sir.
Appreciate your willingness. The water for listening. I'll sign Christ. All right.
Salakia, we'll 24. Yep. The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 24. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And the self-same day was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael, his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. Why? I'm asking y'all, but I'm gonna get an answer. Why is everybody in the house of Abraham getting circumcised?
Think about everything we just explained. We kind of gave the answer.
Why is everybody in the house of Abraham being circumcised? You got to think. Abraham knows that Ishmael is not the one who's going to receive the blessing at this point. He's also so why did every male in his house get circumcised? I'll tell you why. Because of Joshua 24:15. Think about it. Me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Everybody in my house is going to serve the Lord. You know why? Because my house will not be a house that's forsaken. God will not look down on my house to see that someone isn't serving the Lord. Guess what? You don't want to, it's going to get to a point, and I want to talk about even you being in this truth. You might have children, and those children will grow up, they're going to be grown. And they might not follow you. You're right, Nathabalam. It wasn't talking to show you are with the Lord. Exactly. Those children might not follow you, right? Those children might get old and might go off and do their own thing. Your daughter may be weak in the flesh. It's the best words I can put it. Your son may become weak in the flesh, and he won't serve the Lord. Guess what? You got to get out this house. Eventually, you're going to have to get out this house. You got to go out there. You don't want to serve the Lord? I'm not going to have the Lord tear my house down because of you. The Lord's not going to tear down what I've built up for him because of you. That's why a lot of brothers get out this school. That's why we kick you out the school.
Right.
You're not going to tear down. We're not going to let, what they say, one bad apple spoils the bunch.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to let you and your mind and your speech influence other brothers and sisters in here. Some of you women, we're going to kick you out of this school too. We're not going to let you influence some young sister in here about serving the Lord because your man has another woman. We're not going to let you do that. We're not going to let you be messy in here, gossiper in here. We're not going to let you do that. Yeah, you can't do that in here. We're going to kick you out. That's why everybody in his house was circumcised. That's why everybody in his house is circumcised. And I'm not talking physically. I'm talking spiritually. You come in this house, you're going to get circumcised spiritually. Right. Now, you can go out there and go get circumcised physically if you want to. That's okay. Good for you. But it's more important to be circumcised in the mind and of the spirit than it is to be circumcised physically and carnally. You got something, sir?
Yeah, I got something real quick. Just to touch on what Priest Master Alatas is saying. Remember, just like how last class we explained this is spiritual, right? Now, physically, yes, they are being circumcised, but that's not the whole point of this teaching. Before Abraham was circumcised physically, he was actually circumcised spiritually. How? I'll give it to you. What was Abraham's name before it was Abraham? It was Abram. Before there was Sarah, there was Sarai. Before there was Israel, there was Jacob. Every single time they were, put it to you like this, a young man in the world, a young woman in the world, right? And when I say young, don't think carnally, because he was 99 years old. He old. Said Sarah, she old too. Mentally, they were young. When he was traveling through Egypt, he made some mistakes. He made that mistake with Sarai, and he was scared because people were going to kill him, and because they saw his wife and she was so beautiful. He had a moment of weakness, right? He had to learn to be righteous. The Most High had to check him, get him back on course. All right. So before he was circumcised physically, he was circumcised spiritually. The moment that he became Abraham. Now the old man is dead. We brought that up last class, right? The old man is dead. Now here's this new man. Sarai is dead. Now we got this new woman, a woman that serves the Lord. We got a man who serves the Lord. When Jacob became Israel, that's a man that serves the Lord. He had to prove himself. So he had to cut off from the world mentally, spiritually, right? That's the whole thing about that when we talk about circumcision, right? And real quick to touch on what Priest Salat, as I said, you won't get cut off. You can either cut yourself off in a good way or a bad way.
Right.
You can come in here and cut yourself off from the world, cut yourself off from that pork, that shrimp, that lobster, them cigarettes, that pornography, that buying women and being a harlot. You can cut all that off, become a new creature. Or we can cut you off. Yeah, we can cut you off. If I could, real quick, we don't cut you off.
Right.
The Lord cuts you off, and trust me, He's done it plenty of times. All right. And the thing is, the Lord don't want that for you. I'm gonna get this precept real quick. I said this last week. Ezekiel 33:11. If you get that, right? The Lord will cut you off, but understand the spirit behind it. Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 11.
Go ahead.
Say unto them, as I live, saith the Lord God, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked.
Say that one more time.
I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked.
The Most High don't really want to kill you.
Right.
You understand that, right? But what?
But that the wicked turn from his way and live. What? And live.
Live. Keep going.
Turn ye. Mm-hmm. Turn ye from your evil ways. For why will ye die, O house of Israel?
That's all He wants for you. When He was teaching, here's the thing. He could have, when Abram and Sarai traveled through Egypt and he was about to give up his wife because he was scared.
Right.
The Most High, if He didn't care, He wouldn't check. That's what y'all got to understand when it comes to authority, right? You want to know why the Most High deals with men specifically? All throughout the Bible, He deals with men. Right. Not saying that there weren't righteous sisters, but He mostly deals with men. Why? Because it's all about authority. Most High, Christ, man, woman. That's how it is, right? It's a chain of command. If He didn't care about Abram and Sarah, He just would have let them do what they did, and then somebody would have slept with his wife, and I don't know, probably would have found out, killed him. You don't know. All right. My point being is they would have died spiritually. They might not die physically, but they would have died spiritually. So the Most High had to instill discipline and make sure that He got correct. By Him getting Abram correct, Abram could get Sarah correct. You see how it all trickles down? Because He wants you to live. That's the whole point. That's really, to break down the Bible in like the simplest way that I possibly can. This is a book to teach you how to live.
That's it.
That's really it. It's a book of life. Show you what's been done wrong so that you don't do it again. Teaches you what to eat, teaches you what not to eat. Teaches you how to bathe, teaches you what to stay away from. Right. Teaches you how to marry, teaches you how to raise your kids, teaches you how to be a man, teaches you how to be a woman. I mean, it's so simple, right? That's all.
It's like, if I may,
go ahead.
Y'all still, some of y'all, I think some of y'all still is missing what He's saying. When He said the Lord deals with a man so he can be righteous, so his woman can become righteous, that man and that woman, they eventually have children. And then guess what? If that man and that woman is righteous, those children more than likely will be what? They will be righteous. Well, guess what? Those children are going to have children. You're going to have grandchildren. And sooner or later, you and your wife are going to pass away. That's okay. And you're going to have a son. And guess what that son's going to do? He's going to have a child, your grandchild. And that grandchild, if he comes up the same way you came up and the same way your son came up, guess what? He's a righteous man. Guess what happens after that? He has the child. And guess what happens right after that child who comes up righteous just like he did? You come back. And you will be more righteous. You'll be more perfect than what you were the first time around. This is what you call a sustainable society, a sustainable ecosystem. You don't understand what the Lord is trying to build and what He will build and will accomplish. He's building a society of perfection. That is what He requires from you. You read throughout this Bible, you read about men trying to be perfect. Be ye perfect as your Father is in heaven perfect. Come on. That is not made up. The Christian church tells you nobody's perfect. The Christian church tells you you can't be perfect. The Christian church tells you come as you are and stay as you are. Literally, we tell you come as you are, but you must change. That's how the Lord, you're filthy, man. You're dirty. You're disgusting. You are nasty as hell. Like, you really don't understand how dirty you are. You just don't get it. Right now, you're dirty. You come in this class to try to clean yourself up. That's what we do with the washing of water through the word. I'm giving you precepts, you're just not catching. We're giving you precepts, you're probably just not catching without us going to them. Clean yourself up. Clean yourself up, and guess what? You'll eventually get a woman that's clean too. All them chicken heads you was dealing with in the world, they're dirty. You know why? Because you're a dirty man. And a sinful man deserves a sinful woman. But a man who comes to serve the Lord, eventually, he's going to get him a woman who wants to serve the Lord too. Why? Because she wants to be just like you. She wants to be involved in what you do. She likes to see the things that you do. Abraham was first raised up. Then Sarah.
You peep that, right?
This ain't new. This is Genesis. We are giving, it's the game within the game. We telling you how life works. The Lord is showing. The reason why Genesis is so important, and if I don't want to get too off topic, the reason why Genesis is so important, it's the beginning. Everything that matters today is what mattered back then. You cannot understand why the Lord is doing what he's doing now because you don't understand Genesis. You don't understand the beginning. You're not going to understand Revelation if you don't understand Genesis. You're not going to understand Genesis if you don't understand Revelation. Everything is entangled and intertwined with one another. The Lord is showing you how to build a proper society. The Lord is showing you how to build yourself up. You see these things we have up here? The shofar, the scrolls, the frankincense and myrrh, the oil, the wine. All that matters. Everything we do up here matters. I know to you, you might skip it. The prayers, they matter. The Hebrew, it matters. How we deal with one another, it matters. How we walk, how we carry ourselves in public, it matters. How you treat your brother, how you treat a stranger, it matters. Everything matters. Back then in the world, you didn't care about nothing because nothing mattered to you except yourself. And honestly, you didn't matter to you. That's why you are in the condition you are in. And that's why you were what you were. But now you come into the school, you change your life. You get a name, you become a new creature. Come on. You have now been circumcised in the spirit, not the flesh. That's all.
That's all. Let's see. Oh yeah, Ecclesiastes 26 and 23. Yeah, wicked woman is given as portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. It's one of my favorite precept sections. Bring that one up a lot. But just to further prove the point, like the thing is, okay, going back to the living, right? And we're about to go back to Genesis 18 in a second. I'll break it down for you like this because that's a whole other lesson within itself. You can read Ecclesiastes 25 and also 26, and it talks about what happens when you get a wicked woman. Well, first of all, you wicked as hell. That's why the Lord gave you a wicked woman, right? And like you don't gotta die physically. Right. The Lord will make you suffer. You don't want to know what's one of the main ways to make a man suffer? Give him a wicked ass woman. Just give him like an evil woman. And watch that brother just decline.
Countenance just go down.
Like, I know stress kills, right? Right. Like seriously, like that's been proven. Like it releases a toxin throughout your body, and prolonged exposure can affect your health. It affects you mentally, okay? And you might want to harm yourself. I'm being for real. You might want to harm yourself. You might want to harm people around you. You're dead spiritually. Why? Because you were wicked. And the Lord does not take pleasure in punishing the wicked. But that you turn from your evil ways. That's all we want. And live. You don't want to live? Okay, here's just a angry, right? Just a diabolical woman just for you. Just don't look good. Because the Lord not gonna give that woman to a righteous man. Right. Nah, he gonna give him a righteous woman, righteous women. Hell, if he desires. Right. She ain't about to waste that righteous woman on no evil man. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve it. You know what you deserve. You deserve death. That's what you deserve. That's one way to serve it. Every last single one of us deserves death. Let me give you a piece of advice that I learned a long time ago. If you don't want to pay for the crimes that you committed, then change. Change. Be something new. That man who did those crimes, you didn't have to live through those crimes, or you didn't have to serve punishment for those crimes of what you did back then. As a new creature, you build up better habits. You do new things, and you're gonna pay for what you do in here. That thing you did in all life, it does not matter unless you just keep doing it.
unless you keep doing it. If you're a woman who slept with so many men and you keep doing it, you're gonna get punished for that crime. You're gonna be by yourself, and you're gonna be hurt, and you're gonna be lonely, and you're gonna be angry. If you want that to change, you got to change. That's it.
If I could real quick before we get back to Genesis 18, this is a quick one. So let's see. Christopher is asking, when it comes to Gentiles being saved by the Mashiach, Isaiah 42, 1 through 9. Okay, this one thing you got to understand, Christopher. So there's two different types of Gentiles in the Bible. That's usually not taught in the Christian church. So the Gentiles that you probably are thinking of are the non-Israelites, right? These are heathens according to the Bible. However, there's another type of Gentile. Another type of Gentile, you about to get it?
Yeah, I thought I didn't read
it. If you need to use mine, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, if you need it, you need to use it real quick. This is just real quick. This is good. Ask questions, right? So the brother, he's about to get it right now. But another Gentile is, which actually goes back into what I was talking about earlier, Hellenization. A Hellenized Israelite is also considered a Gentile. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
This is Gentiles in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 195. Gentiles, usually,
keyword, usually. So not all the time, but usually what?
Usually, it means a non-Israelite people.
So what we just said, right? Usually it means a non-Israelite person. In the book of Acts, right? When they were talking to the Gentiles, y'all didn't know those were Israelites, right?
Right.
The problem was, and it's funny, it all comes back together. Circumcised, right? It all comes back.
Crazy.
These brothers and sisters were cut off completely to the point they didn't know that they were Israelite. Like think of like today, like the average black person in America, they just identify, I'm black, I'm a color. That's it. Don't know nothing beyond that. We speak English and I am a color. That is all.
Right.
I was kidnapped from Africa. That's it. That's all you know. Hispanic, crazy. Some Hispanics really believe that they come from Spain. It's crazy.
Right.
Like that's crazy. Like you're here. You're here. But you think that your native language is Spanish. You think it's Portuguese. You think it's French or something. I don't know. You think you from Europe. Why? Because you've been Hellenized. You've been circumcised, but in a bad way. You've been cut off. You've been cut off from your lineage. You've been cut off from your history. That is exactly what happened in the book of Acts. Those Gentiles that they were talking to were Hellenized Israelites. But they were so Hellenized that they were also considered a Gentile.
Bro,
that's what that's talking about. Wow.
I'm finna just delete this.
Let's see. Please stop. What the hell? Salagia, best thing I could tell you, if you got an issue with any brother in the school, take them to counsel.
That's a crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. If you have a problem with somebody, take that brother to counsel.
That's crazy.
The scriptures say go to him and him alone, correct?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, that's
what
Salakia. But
I'm a new creature.
Yeah, but I hope that answers your question, Christopher. There's two types of Israelites. So when it says that it's like two types of Gentiles, when it says that there are Gentiles that can be saved, that's not talking about the other nations. That's talking about the Israelites who are so far cut off from their nation that they are also considered Gentiles. That's all. Salakia. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You got anything?
No, I was gonna get to Genesis 18.
Yeah, let's go to Genesis 18 and 1.
It's crazy. Fight that dude. The book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 1. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. Now, mind you, where he's at is hot. So he think about it, brother. We were trying to paint a picture for you. Think about it, brother, man. It's hot. So what you do? You ain't got no AC. I don't think there's a cooling system back in these times. I don't know for sure, right?
Not to cut you off. Makwadash, as I'm not sure what your rank is in the school. If you're still in the school, I'm not sure. But I will just say this again: if you have a problem with a brother or sister in this school and you cannot hash it out, take them to counsel. It's as simple as that. You ranting on the internet is not going to solve anything.
I bet you ain't called him and tell him that. Why don't you call him? He's not hard to find. None of them brothers are hard to find. Call him and you ask that with him. And we'll see how that conversation goes. All right.
Lord be with you.
Lord be with you.
Go ahead, Slide.
I'm with you. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. So a brother sitting outside, in some shade over the tent door, just chilling. Why? Because Jacob is a plain man. Everyone's a plain man. We're all plain men. We just like the best feeling for a brother is just when he's chilling. Your woman really the one who want to go do stuff. Me personally, I want to chill all the time. Anyway, verse 2. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. I want to stop you right there. Why did he go do this? Why did Abram go bow his head to these 3 men? What does Abram know? What does Abram know at this moment? Let's go to Hebrews 13:1. Right? Here's what Abram knows. The book of Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. There are many instances in the Bible when a stranger walks past you or a stranger has walked past someone and they see, and they can just, hey man, this is an angel of the Lord. Those 2 men who came to light, angels of the Lord. Matter of fact, Samson's mother, when you read in the book of Judges, she was a man, but she knew it was an angel of the Lord. Why? You can tell the countenance of it. You can tell the countenance of the man of the Lord. I'm going to break this down to you, and you got to really understand it. You look different. You look, when you actually come in and change yourself, you look different. You act different. You walk, your gait, the way you walk is different. When we go out in public, everyone sees us. Even if it's you just by yourself and you're in a grocery store, everyone notices you. They don't know what it is about you, but they see you. They notice you. Abraham noticed these 3 men. He bowed his head down to them. Why? He knew they were men of the Lord. He knew they were angels unaware. He understood the assignment. Like, no, these are 3 random men popping up right here. And the way they look, the countenance, these are men of the Lord. Yeah, it happens to you. It happens to you. When you go in the store, just people gonna look at you. And just watch them. Don't say anything, just watch them. They know it's something different about you. They just can't put their hand on it because they're not spiritual yet. But they know. You got anything, sir?
Nah, you too up. Shalom, Lord Christ, I don't want. Got priest Master Lahab.
Lord Christ, Lord, I don't want to. Verse 3. And this is the point I want to get to. And said, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass thine away. I pray thee from thy servant. Now, what is the title of Abraham right now on the earth? I'll give you a hint. It's in Genesis, the 14th chapter. What is the title of Abraham right now? I ain't going to take too long for time's sake. There's a title that Abraham has right now on the earth. It's in Genesis, the 14th chapter. What is his title? Genesis 14. Mind you, we're in Genesis 17. No. You're close, but no. Father, that's what his name means. I don't want that specific. Go to Genesis 14. Is it 14? I don't think it's 14. Let me find that one quick. It is.
You got it?
It is. All right, I'll give it to you for time's sake. Genesis 14 and 19. And he blessed him and said, blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. So now what we're looking at, Abram is the possessor of heaven and earth. Abram is the king of heaven and earth, according to God. God has given this man the title of possessor or king of heaven and earth. Let's read Genesis 17 and 3 again. And said, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. What point am I making? Here's the point. The king of heaven and earth is the chief servant of heaven and earth. The man over you serves you. I know you can't see it, and you might not think it. You're serving them, but they really serve you. Christ even said that. You know I'm gonna put it. You know I'm gonna put it. The highest ranking man above you serves you. Your captain serves everyone here. Commander Junior Hunter serves all Israel. General Muhammad is second in command of all Israel.
Oh, what is it when he said? He said,
how man serve. If you call his phone, and everybody knows this, for a council, you call him, what he picks up and he says, how may I serve you? That's powerful. You can't wrap your brain around someone over you serving. You can't wrap your brain around it. Why? Because in this society, the poor people are serving everybody. The poor people are serving the rich.
and if I could real quick, right, I want y'all to really understand what this brother is saying right now, right? When you think, like, if I could, if we say servant, like, people think like slave,
Right.
like, which sadly, that's what it's turned in today, right? I'm gonna get the biblical definition of servant. All right, this is in the Hebrew, right? Yeah, I say it in class. I bet y'all ain't downloaded it yet. Get a Blue Letter Bible. It's very easy. Download it to your phone. All right. Now, this is outline of biblical usage for the word servant. Now, it has many different meanings. Now, the one that you're very familiar with is slave, servant, manservant,
Right.
subject. Those are the ones that we're familiar with. Here are the other definitions. Servants, worshipers of God. Servant in special sense as prophets, Levites, etc. The reason why it says Levites is because there was a time where only the nation of us, like the tribe of Levi, they were the only prophets for a time. And then later, other tribes were able to be prophets as well. It also says servant of Israel. So right here, when it's addressing Abraham, Salakia, as a servant, he's not a slave. It's not what it is. He just serves God. It's in the word. He serves God.
Right.
So he's a servant.
Right.
As a priest and prophet of the Lord, like priest and officer Allah was touching on, and we just read it in here because it also says, let's see, servant in special sense as prophets. As a prophet, you do serve. Your service is you keeping the word, not okay. You preaching the word of God. That's in Malachi 2 and 7, I believe.
Yes.
You're supposed to keep the truth at thy lips. I'm paraphrasing. And that's your role pretty much. All right. We are servants. We're serving you right now. Right now. We're waking up, coming down here every Saturday, and we are going to take our time. We don't have to do this. Technically, we don't have to, but we chose to serve God. So we're going to be here, and we're going to teach Genesis all the way to Revelation. I don't know when we're going to get there. Christ probably gonna come back by that time. But my point being is that is our service. Okay, a captain he is serving you by making sure that you're good.
Right.
He done did everything that you're doing right now. He was a young man. He was a trooper. He was officer of 50, 500, 1,000, 5,000. He was already all that, and he's still serving you by serving the Most High. So that's all I got for that. You got it?
If I may, let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 26 through 28. And right after this, we're going to touch on what he just said. which made it. This is crazy how the precepts work. Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 26. And this is when he's talking to James and John's mother, I believe, or father at this point. This is Christ. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. Meaning the greatest one among you will be teaching you. He's going to be serving you. We're going to prove it. Verse 27. And whosoever will be chief among you, whosoever will be the highest ranking among you, this man that I'm going to appoint above you, this man right here, Christ, bro, Christ is our servant. He's right now getting served by Christ. Right now. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. With all your problems, all your needs, everything that you want and need in your life, food daily. Yeah, Christ giving you that. Through the power of the Lord. Right? He's the servant. I'm going to prove it. Verse 28. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, he ain't come down here to be taught. He didn't come for you to teach him, for us to teach him, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. His life was given up for us. You're not giving your life up for nobody. You're selfish. You're selfish. Let's go to Luke 17. I want Luke 17 right quick. I'm going to touch. No, go ahead. I'm going to touch on what he just said. As priests and prophets of the Lord, right? The book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 7. This is the parable of the unprofitable servant. And I really want you to wrap your mind about what we doing here and how your life is. The book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 7. But which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat? Christ is giving you an analogy of if you're a king and you're owner of a servant or an employee, right? And he's done his job, you're not going to tell him, you can go over there and sit down and eat. That's not what you're telling him. That's not what you're telling him. Verse 7. Verse 8. And will not rather say unto him, here's what you're going to say to him. He served you all day. Here's what you're going to say to him. Make ready wherewith I may sup and gird thyself and serve me till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward thou shalt eat and drink. He's saying what you're going to say to the servant. He's your servant. You're going to have him keep working for you. This is what I want you to understand. Christ is telling you, hey, if you're a king or you're over something or over someone, you're not going to tell them to go sit down and go eat. You're going to tell them once they're done with what they're doing to come serve you even more. Verse 9. Doth he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I trow not. Meaning what? If you have children or a servant or employee and they do the things that you tell them to do, are you going to thank him? No. Why? Because that's his job. That's his job to serve you. That's his job to be employed by you. That's his job to bring you supper. That's his job to bring you drink. That's your child's job to wash the dishes. That's your think about it. This is black folks talk. Black people don't get allowances. I don't know about you. I wasn't given no allowance. You know what my allowance was? Breathing. Living in that house. That was my allowance. That was all our allowance. We weren't getting no allowances. You was allowed to live in this house. Why? Light bill had to be paid. Phone bill had to be paid. Gas bill had to be paid. Water had to be paid. Clothes had to be put on your back. Food had to be put in your belly. You had to have water and juice to quench your thirst. You had to be taken care of. You had to be looked after. Somebody had to care about you. That's your allowance as a child. You have to really think about that. You're allowed to live in this house. You're allowed to have somebody love you. That's your allowance in a black and Hispanic household. We're not going to pay you for doing the dishes. That's what you're going to do. We're not going to thank you for doing the dishes. We're not going to thank you for or pay you for cutting the grass. That's what you're going to do. You're going to keep this house tidy. That's what you're going to do. And let me finish. Verse 9. Doth he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I trow not. verse 10. Here's the point. So likewise, ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, stay. We are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. This your duty, out. This your, you don't understand. You not having sexual whores is your duty. No one's gonna thank you. Why should you be thanked for not going out there catching AIDS?
Matter of fact, if I could real quick,
Yes, sir.
what's the whole duty of man?
What?
I already know you're gonna get it. I already know. And if I could real quick,
Yes,
we're gonna jump to First Chronicles real quick, just to go more on what you're saying, right? It's just a little quick one. I hope y'all really understand what this brother's breaking out right quick. Okay, so like, go ahead. I'm gonna let you get it.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. This is like my favorite verse because nothing else matters that we say. Everything that we say ties into this right here. I can give you a whole speech for 2 hours. It ties into this one verse. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Plain and simple, right? Everything that this brother just brought out, like you said, it wraps it up right there. I was literally thinking about that precept the entire time when you were talking. Because why should you? Why should you? Why? This is what you're supposed to do. Okay? No one is going to give you
a cookie. You want a cookie?
I'm laughing because I'm really thinking about it in my head. No one's going to give you a high five because you didn't buy a lady of the nights for one day. I ain't gonna lie, you did. Good job. 365 days, you did good. Like, no, you shouldn't be doing that anyway.
Right.
You know what your reward can be for not being a sinner? That you get to live another day.
That's your reward.
That's your reward. That you may be able to have a stable family, that you may be able to raise kids, because the Lord's going to give you rewards. Don't worry about it.
Right.
But the biggest reward is Christ coming back and ruling over the earth.
Right.
That's the biggest reward. That's what we're working for. But we have to prove that, right? That is our duty as men of the Lord. That is your duty as a sister as well.
Yes.
Don't think y'all got exited out. No, if you're a woman that serves the Lord, you need to do that as well. I mean, this book was I got tongue tied. In the Apocrypha, Suzanne, right? That's a sister who was so righteous, she was about to be exposed to whoredom. And sadly, that falls into a lot of sisters today.
Right.
But just to give you the brief history, right? I ain't gonna be too long with it. At this time, this sister is married. She has a man. She loves a man, right? There were 2 other men who were, I'm not gonna call them priests. I'm gonna call them Pharisees. That's really what they were. They were Pharisees, right? And they wanted this woman so bad. They both wanted her. That's nasty.
Oh, bro,
they wanted to share her.
It's like, if I may,
go ahead.
We on time, dude. The nastiest part about this whole thing you about to bring up, besides the false allegations, was the fact that they both caught each other creeping to see him. The one who was like, "What you doing?" It's like Spider-Man. Yeah, we both creeps. We both trying to get a piece of her. Like, they plotted on this sister while she was showering or whatnot, or in the galley, and they plotted on the sister. And they both would. That demon got on both of them and said, "Let's go be." Can I say? Let's go be pervert. Can I say pervert? You can say pervert. Yeah. Let's go be perverts. They are 2 separate men, and that demon hopped on both of them and told them both, "Let's go be a pervert." And they saw each other and was like, "Damn, you're a pervert too." Basically,
imagine getting caught in the act of being like, "What you doing?"
Yeah, I like you.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, to wrap it up real quick, right? They're disgusting. Okay, they both wanted a married woman. They both wanted her, right? They didn't care. They wanted to share her.
Right.
Well, she was so righteous. And again, I call them Pharisees. You got to think of it like this. These were men who had stats at that time.
Right.
Just like how today you may hear of a sister who got a man, and then Usher comes up, and now you just let Usher take you, or you let Chris Brown take you, or you let Drake take you, or something, right? Because in your eyes, carnally, this is a man of status,
right?
And he has money, so that money equates to power. So now you're looking like, well, mean, my husband ain't gotta know. Like, it's low key. Hey, I always feel bad bringing this part up, but because King David was a righteous brother, but Bathsheba, she did that. Bathsheba, the king wanted her. She could have said no, but you gotta think. She's like, the king, you want me?
She gonna go. She gonna go.
Right. Went over there, had a whole baby by him, and didn't even tell her husband. My point being is, Susanna had the perfect opportunity to do so. What did she choose to do? She chose to be righteous, to not be a whore, to be faithful to her husband and be faithful to the Lord. And even after that, they accused her. Right. They accused her and tried to make it seem like, oh, you know, she's a harlot. She did this, she did that. They were going to chop her head off. And she begged to the Most High. And guess what? The Most High saved her. And then they got apprehended.
And guess what happened? Oh, Slack. If I may, guess who the Lord sent? Oh, he said a man. He said a prominent man. A young man at this time, a young man by the name of Daniel. Yep. Daniel was a Lord. Man, Daniel's that dude. He's that dude, man. The Lord, and to this point, and to this unprofitable servant point, and to what we're getting here, the Lord sends men. It wasn't no magical thing that happened for Susanna to get saved. Yeah, ain't a genie. The Lord sent a man of God to her, and he saved her life. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're training to be, a man of God. Because those people out in the world, no matter what they think, and no matter the routine that they got going, and no matter the fallacies and living in the life of trouble that they have, they need you to save them. And they're not going to thank you. They don't, bro. Oh, they're not going to thank you. Go ahead. You're the unprofitable servant. You do just by having a conversation with a woman and trying to get her to understand how precious her body is and how she should not get it up to anybody, you're saving her life. Or you're at least attempting to. Right. She's not going to thank you. From that conversation, she might go on and not be a whore. She might go on and not do what she used to do just by that. You might have saved her life. You're not going to get a thank you for it. Again, you're not going to get a thank you for not going out there and sleeping with her. You're not going to get a thank you for not smoking weed. You shouldn't do it. You're not going to get a thank you for trying to live. And why is that? Why is that? Because that's your duty. That's your duty. That's what you're supposed to do anyway. You're supposed to do it. And I want y'all to, like, I just want to touch on one more thing before we go back to 18. I wasn't going to get this preset, but for time's sake, I'm going to just leave it. I'll probably just talk about it real quick. My whole point is to touch on what you said real quick. You are the unprofitable hero. You are the unsung hero. Okay, right? You know, y'all. You know, you might the Marvel movies and stuff like that, and you might see sometimes where the hero they might save somebody. Like, okay, I'm a nerd, so I'm just saying real quick. I mean, Spider-Man. I'm just using him as an example, right? Spider-Man saved people. You know, what was it? The Daily Bugle. I think it's the Daily Bugle. And was it John Jonah Jameson? he hates him, right? Spider-Man all the time. He hated him, right? And he made him to be a criminal. Some people believed him. There were times where Spider-Man saved John Jonah Jameson, right? And he still hated him. He didn't give him a pat on. He didn't give thank you, Spider-Man. That's probably all he really wanted to do. Just a thank you. He don't want no money or nothing. Still hated him. Did that stop him from doing what he was supposed to do? No. Right. Because he took it upon himself, like, hey, look, it's the life I chose. It's like, how this is the life you chose. Nobody forced you to come in here. The Lord introduced you to this. Right. He wants you to be in here. He's introducing life to you, but you can leave. You're gonna die. Maybe not physically, but like spiritually, you will, for sure. Trust me, we've seen it plenty of times. Point being is, you're not always gonna get rewarded. For the sisters too, you're not always gonna get rewarded for being loyal to your man. You're not always going to get rewarded. Actually, you're probably never going to get rewarded for not sleeping with another man's wife. Why should we applaud you for that? Right. Why should we applaud? That's what you're supposed to do. Good for you. I mean, look at it like this. Your reward is you not catching an STD. That's your reward. Your reward is not messing with somebody else's woman and then that brother going into a blind rage and unaliving you. Okay? So go ahead. Your reward for not stepping outside your marriage is that man not beating you upside the head, or your children knowing that their brother is a whore,
or you suffering a mental illness.
Come on,
you do know statistically, like I love statistics because it just to further prove to you through the Bible, right? The Lord only wanted you to be with one man, right? Well, you do know, again, biologically, right? Yeah, you're only supposed to be with one man. It's already been proven that if a woman who has multiple sex partners, she not only it's a behavioral aspect. You're more prone to anxiety. You're more prone to I forgot the name of the mental disorder, but my point being is you're not functional anymore, right? You start having trust issues. It's harder for you to form a connection with the man because you done been with like 15 of them. So in your mind, it's like, well, I mean, at this point, that's a low number. So I seen one sister said she had 106 bodies. She was 20. I mean, I don't know 106 people. I don't even know how you did that. That's crazy. But said it so proudly. She's so destroyed in her head. All right. We don't want that for you.
Right.
We want you to be a sister who feels protected, who feels loved. That's what we want for you. That's what not me. That's what the Lord wants for you. Ain't about what I think. The Lord wants that for you. He wants you to live. But if you want to go against that, okay, well, that's your reward. Right. Because Satan gives rewards too. Your reward is you getting an STD. Right. Your reward is you getting being on antidepressants and all this medication because you got bipolar disorder. That's what's gonna happen. I'm being real. That happens. All right. And for the Akim out there, you too. You not being a sinner, congratulations. You're not an alcoholic today. You're not depressed today. Right. You're not in jail today. You can still live and breathe. You still got all your limbs attached to you. You know, that's your reward. So take that. But don't go looking for a reward. Because if you have that kind of spirit, just to wrap it up, you're not going to last here. You're not. You should want to do this genuinely. Don't do it because, well, I want some status. Don't do that. You're not going to last. And if I could real quick, before we wrap it up and get back to 18, the other precept I was going to get, but for time's sake, it's in Second Chronicles chapter 1. Long story short, this is when the Most High is coming to Solomon at this time, and he's asking him like what he wants, and he's giving him, he's offering riches, he's offering women, all power, right? Carnal things that most men really desire. You want to know what Solomon asked for? For time's sake, I'll give it to you. He asked for wisdom. He asked for knowledge so that he could serve the Lord, his people. That's what he wanted. Above everything else, that's what he wanted. And this is a man of great stature. This is a man who is King David's son, whose name means peace, shalom, or shalama, which means peace, because he served in a time of peace. But that's what he wanted. So if a man of that stature, if you want to use him as an example, Most High in Christ, use that. You come in here, I ain't King Saul, I ain't King David. I don't know who I was in the past. I don't need to know. All we need to know is that we here now. We have a duty to serve you, and we do that by serving Most High. That's all.
You people, I really wish y'all understand, and you brothers do. I know y'all do, bro. Don't nobody care that you serve the Lord. Don't nobody care. No one cares that you serve the Lord. They don't. So I look at Captain Zaryak, and he do the podcast, and he does the conversation with people, and I'm not amazed anymore, but it always hits me sometimes like they don't know who he is. Like they just think you some regular dude in some phase. Because they're corny. They can't see who you really are. That's why when Christ went amongst his own, they rejected him. He told them, the same miracles I do over here, you wish I would do over here. And they started throwing stones at him because they just couldn't understand it. That's why a lot of brothers get kicked out of their families, per se. That's why a lot of sisters get kicked out of their families, per se. We are trying to save your life. Like, think about you can get a sister in the world. You're literally trying to turn a hoe into a housewife. Like, literally, you're literally trying. That's what she was in the world. That's what she is. She don't know it though, but she knows it. You know why it's so hard for women to come up in here? It's easier for men because men can just accept what it is. Like, hey, this is what I did. So like, I messed up. I made a mistake. It's hard for women to do that. It's hard for a woman to say, damn, I was this type of person. I was I was disgusting. Like, I was disgusted. I wasn't worth anything. And that's why I never had nothing meaningful. It's hard for her to admit that to herself. So you got to look at a sister that's in here and be like, what did she do? Like, what was she? She's strong. She's tough. She's tough too. She did God knows what with God knows who plenty of times. And it never profited her. Then she come in here, clean herself up. Now she show me how smart I thought. Now don't let that fool you. But I always say that. But no, man, really understand what you do when you come up in here. She's not gonna get praised for not cheating on her man. The women at her job is gonna look at her like, girl, I leave him.
They think that she's stupid.
She's stupid. They think she's stupid for not wanting to go out there and have sex with random Joe Blow who got more money than you. Yeah, he got more money. He got more STDs too.
Yeah.
He has less trust than I do. Yeah. He has less partners, less friends than I do. He has less happiness. You can't. He don't have what I have. I got something more than everybody else got there. I got the truth. And I got brothers in here who really will put their life on the line for it. He don't have that. She's not going to get praised, or sister, you're not going to get praised for staying with your man. You're not going to praise that. Every woman out there is going to tell you to leave him, and you can do better. Baby, no, you can't. I'm sorry to tell you, you can't do better. You can't do better. Why? Because you finally found somebody that's not willing to give you AIDS. That's what you found. You found somebody that's willing to argue and correct you. Argue you down to better you.
And stay with you.
And stay with you. And baby, you got flaws. You have problems. You have issues. There are things that you have that you didn't know you have. There are problems that you have in your mind. There's trauma that you have. And there's a man willing to not only do this job, but to work on you too. Not only do this work, but to work on you. And stay with you through all your nonsense and your problems and your BS, and want to have kids with you and raise them kids with you. Through all your nonsense, through all 10 of your personalities, there's a man out here for you. Brother, same way. It's a righteous sister looking at you like, this brother need help because he is tripping. This brother, you tripping. You stupid. Like, you stupid. You're not that yet. You're not perfect yet. You dumb. And there's somebody who's looking at you like, hey, I got to do this, man. I'm going to help him. I'm going to help him better himself. They do help you. They help you. It's give and take. She's to help me. That's what she does. So don't sit around here and think you're better than anybody in the school. No, you're not. You look for rank, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm telling you, we don't even have conversations about rank. I don't care. Let me tell you something. The scriptures do not say the highest ranking individual gonna get the most. No, everybody gets the same.
Yeah, you still a man at the end of the day. Real quick, I'll tell you straight up right now. Right? I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. There have been men who have came into this school and they left, right? We talk about it all the time. We don't ever really tell you like the rank of those men. I'll tell you right now, some of those men were 5,000.
Right.
So some of the men were 5,000. 13. Some of them were captains. And guess what? They're not here no more. They've been in the school for 10 years. You outranked them. And then now they left and then they got to, I've been in school for you're not here now.
Right.
Christ said, endure to the end. Endure to the end. All right. We don't care about none of that stuff. Plus, the Lord gonna put you where you need to be. All right. If the Lord wants you to be a 500, then he'll make you a 500 in due time when you're ready. Just like how Abram had to get ready. He was thinking about, he was 99, and then he became Abram, right? He had to be circumcised. So don't think just because I feel like, that's a demon. I'll tell you right now, that's a demon. Like you're going to be put where you need to be.
Right.
And sometimes you need to be put out. That's hard. You need to be put out. I'm being real with you. If you come in here with that wicked ass spirit, Salakia, and you can't change, don't sweat. You couldn't cut yourself off from the world, so the Lord will cut you off from here.
Right.
Just leave it at that.
You go ahead. Sir. The book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 4. We're going to finish it up. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched and wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. This is the possessor of heaven and earth being so hospitable to these three brothers. Verse 5. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that, ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, so do as thou hast said. Point being, you say you're going to do something, go do it. You say you want to come here and change and serve the Lord, then come here and change and serve the Lord. You have to understand that no one is going to, the point of the day was, no one is going to give you a high five for not being a sinner. No one's going to do that. You all you're going to get is a rank rating. Here's what happens though. At the end, if you show yourself to be the servant of the Lord and the servant to the people, you will be rewarded by the Lord. You will be one of the ones that's a crown is put on your head, and you will have your little area and you will run it. You will be there. But right now, no one's going to thank you for not having sex with a whore. It's like
I said, your thank you will be you not catching AIDS. That's not, if you want to thank you, there's your thank you. Your thank you is that you could breathe today.
Right.
That there it is. The Lord could have did all types of stuff. Could have made you get into a car accident. Could have let you stop breathing while you were asleep. Whatever that harlot that you were thinking about sleeping with, you slept with her and she probably was. You thought she was the baddest woman on the planet. Yeah, and then you caught something that doesn't go away. All right, and now you got that.
They said, don't stop.
Don't do that. And one more thing, real quick. Since we're just on the topic, brothers can have multiple wives. And I know there's a few people who are watching the class who are not in the school. I just want to touch on that real quick because we're talking about, sleeping with other women and stuff like that. You can have multiple wives. A wife is a wife, though. You're not a hoe, okay? Don't think that because some fake Israelites do this mess. You got a wife, and then you think, okay, well, I'm going to go sleep with this woman and that woman and this woman because it's a business transaction. You're sick. Okay, you're no different than a man in the world. Because guess what? That's how you do catch STDs.
Right.
Now, let's say you got two women who are loyal to you and who are clean, who aren't being with anybody else, and you're only being with them. That's righteous.
Right.
Guess what? You're fine. Huh? You can do that. That's fine. But you sleeping with a whole bunch of women and throwing them away or sleeping with another man's wife, you're not doing that. You're going to catch something. Or I pray you don't have the type of spirit to sleep with another man's wife. Because let that man find out. You hear about it all the time. Like most of the time when there'll be like gang fights and stuff, it's because of a woman.
Always.
It's always because of a woman. Man is such a blind rage. You should be mad at her, but he's looking at you. Next thing you know, you don't know this dude. He don't go by well, clearly he ain't have no morals.
Right.
Slept with her. But I'm saying he don't go by a code. All he knows is, you slept with my wife, boom, you're dead. He might beat the hell out you. Might stab you. I don't know. And guess what? There's your reward. Satan gave you a reward right there. You got what you wanted. You fell into your lust. And now you got your ass. That's it. Live with that. Or you might not live at all. Slocky. But my whole point is, the basis of this class is circumcision. Both good and bad. There's a good way to go about it. There's a bad way to go about it. All right. Change. Change. We cannot stress that enough. You have a duty. Okay. You have a duty. You're not always going to get praised for it. And that's fine. You don't get praised at your job all the time either, but you still go there.
You make that same minimum wage.
It's crazy. Yep. Clearly, we ain't making that much as a whole because we still got the lowest income in America.
Right.
I'm just saying. But point being is change. You want better, do better. Do better, not just for you, but for the people around you. That's all I got right now. You got anything else?
Nah, sir.
All right. For time's sake, we got to start going over. Slack here. But for time's sake, the water for everybody that tuned in. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. We also appreciate everybody who was asking questions. We want you to do that. This is not the Christian church for all you newcomers. Lord allow you do come into the school eventually. We are here to answer your questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll go to the next man above me who's smarter than me, and I'll get that answer from him. Or I'll direct you to him. But this isn't just a singing dance, with tambourines and drums at the Christian church where they say 5 verses, if that, and y'all just start catching the Holy Spirit. You ain't got the Holy Spirit. That's deep. All right. We're going to teach. All right. That's all. But with that being said, that's shalom.
Shalom.